and welcome to Tips and Tricks with Wit. Today we are going to talk about a quick and easy way that you can copy a mass amount of your files across different accounts. So the first thing is on Google Drive, how I organize my Google Drive, and specifically my drive, is to use just a few master folders. What master folders are is at the very top level. So like on your landing page of Google Drive, I have very few folders. So right now you can see my drive, and at the top level of my drive, I only truly have 3 folders. I have my work folder, which is ISBVI, that's who I work for. And then I have my personal folder. And then I have my third folder, which is actually my junk folder that I call Reorganize. I go in there every summer. And anytime that I am busy, I throw things in there and reorganize when I have more time. So that is my general first tier, helps me organize. But the reason I really like using very few master folders at this top tier is for this next step. So with this, my first folder, you will, if you put everything on this account in this folder, except for your junk folder items. So first things first, I am going to actually share this master folder, my work master folder, with my personal account, because right now I am looking at it from my work account and I want to share it with my personal account. Okay, so I am going to highlight that folder. I'm going to hit share, and then where it says people with access, I'm going to type in my personal email, which, since I pretty much share everything with my personal email, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to make sure that I can edit it. And then I'm going to uncheck notify, because I do not need to get an email notification. Since this is a work account, and since my personal email is obviously outside of our domain, it's going to just warn me, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And yes, I do. So I'm going to do that. And the reason why this is really helpful is by me sharing this one folder to my personal account, now from my personal account, I will actually be able to access that entire folder and literally everything that is on that account. And then I can, if I were to leave that company, make a copy of that folder if I had to. And everything in that copy would technically be owned by my personal account once it finishes making a copy. And so let me show you. So I actually, inside of this education folder is where I have that particular folder. In here, it's this folder right here. It's the one that has a little arrow and it says ISBVI. Notice it is different from what it said on here. It doesn't have the 01 and it doesn't have the briefcase, because I just like the 01 and the briefcase for on the other side when I'm looking at it at work. If we go back to my personal account and I look at that folder, I then have access to everything inside that folder. So just let me compare it. So I go into this folder. There are 2 subfolders, and then this, which I'm actually going to put that in here. That's where it needs to be. And so really helpful. I have quick and easy access to that. But the reason why, and I'll show you why this is convenient, because this is how I did this every time I left previous schools. So now at my current job, this is the 4th school that I've taught at in my in my adult life. So in education, I have a couple different folders in here. Under previous employers, here we go. I've got a folder that is St. Matt's, which is one of the schools I taught at, and then I have a folder that is MISD. So this is exactly what I did when I, like, shortly before I ended my employment there, so that I could have so I could still have access to all of these. And notice, I am the owner of these folders. So St. Matt's, everything in this St. Matt's folder is owned by my personal account. Everything in this school district one is owned by me. And how I did that, because if I go back here, right now, this folder is owned by my work account. But if I were to leave there, if I were to leave ISBVI, I would come here and I would make a copy. It would take a minute for it to actually finish copying. Like, it could take a couple hours. I shouldn't say minute. But then once I've finished copying, then it would look like this. And I would delete this shortcut, because the thing with the shortcut is eventually, if I were to leave, they would get rid of that account, and everything, if it was stored on that account, would be deleted. So I want to make sure that I leave with all of the files that I personally created, and, like, you know, if there's any HR folders, files, I want to make sure I still have access to those. So that is how you can very quickly and very easily make a copy of a large amount of files and folders. I conversely do a very similar situation. So this is, I try to, on my personal account, do the same thing. I have 3 folders in my personal account. I've got my personal folder, I have education, and I've already showed you that inside education is anything I've ever done teaching related is in here. So all previous jobs I've ever had, when I was getting my master's, everything I've done for my master's is in there, and all of that. And then I also have a junk folder in here as well. And so I essentially did the same thing. I shared this personal folder with my work account, but the difference here is that if you notice here, this is a shortcut. I did not make a copy of this because I don't want a copy of all my personal files. I just want to access them from my work account. So that's a quick little tip. One final thing to note, just if people have questions, this Notability, it's just an app, because unfortunately, if you have certain apps, they will force create a folder in this same tier, and I have not found a way to put that somewhere else, put the folder elsewhere. I just kind of ignore those folders and leave them a different color, where I always color code my other folders to kind of deal with that situation. So that is how you can very quickly and easily make a copy en masse. Let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and reach out to my personal account or comment on this video if you would like to know more.